Welcome to the world, fucktards. Calling all shitlords from every corner of the earth.
Indeed, the master fucktard would be me, because it takes a special kind of brave retard to leave a job, a life, security, all behind and say, screw it! Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't that impulsive. If you've been following my life for the past few years, you'd know that I've been masterminding my prison escape. That's what a life in Japan had become to me, a prison. I didn't enjoy it anymore. I remember my last year there, every moment feeling numb, whether it was riding the same bus to work that I had taken hundreds and hundreds of times, or if I was just walking along the Yodo River, feeling the loneliness that a life in Japan will inevitably bring you. Anyways, moving on. So after spending a few months in the Philippines, which I completely loved, by the way, I came back to Japan to tie up loose ends and create a blueprint for the rest of my life. And as I said before, to plan my escape. My escape, as I called it, meant having all my financial needs covered and a dream to do something. Anything that meant a life better than where I was. My plan was to stay in Japan for 18 more months, and I just wanted to finish working and save up some more money, and then I wanted to leave at the end of 2018. And after that, I was most likely going to go to America, buy an RV or a van to live in full time, because I was really interested in that lifestyle. But my life took an unexpected direction in August of that year, and I suddenly had this exciting opportunity to leave Japan. Africa had never been on the radar for me. In fact, I had been to West Africa in 2011, and it was a pretty rough experience. In fact, I remember on that trip literally exhaling with a great sense of relief as the airplane lifted off on my return flight home. But, I'll talk about that some other day. Anyways, with that experience behind me, I didn't think I'd ever want to go back to Africa again. Before I went to Kenya, I just had this image in my mind that Kenya was this hot, arid country. So here I am standing outside the airport in Nairobi at 6 in the morning in my shorts and t-shirt, and I'm feeling like an idiot because no one told me that it gets cold in Nairobi. When I arrived, it was like 50 degrees. That's like 10 degrees Celsius. So there I am standing out in front of the airport waiting and waiting, and I'm thinking, man, if my host doesn't show up, I'm screwed. I don't know anything about this place. I don't know anybody, and I don't know how to get around here. But finally, after 2 hours, my ride showed up in their frickin' pajamas. I didn't even care at this point, though. I was just happy to have a ride and a place to go to. So we got to the hotel, and it was in the central part of Nairobi. And man, they just couldn't get the plumbing right. The water was either too hot, or there was no hot water, or the toilet didn't flush. So we had this maintenance guy pretty much come into the room every day, like 2 or 3 times a day to fix stuff. But central Nairobi was pretty interesting, though. The area I was staying in seemed a little shady, but we'd go to a restaurant or a supermarket, for example, and I'd see girls just gazing at me like I was a white gazelle, and they just wanted to pounce. There was this one day we went to the supermarket, and I was just waiting outside for my friend, and this little girl was begging me for money. I mean, lots of kids were, and I would shoo them away, but this one girl was really persistent, and I was thinking, this is a job, she's really trying. So, I just gave her 5 cents or something, and the security got pissed at me. They got really angry at me for giving her money, and they made a big scene about it. And, they just told me, don't give the children money. Don't give the kids money around here. So, yeah, lots of beggars in that area. Not all areas of Nairobi I went to were like that, but in this particular area. Um, so, I mean, I definitely had to be aware of my surroundings when I was walking around. But I thought that I thought that Nairobi would be a lot more international and there would be a lot of Westerners there, but I didn't see many where I was at, and even in Nairobi I stood out. I got stared at a lot and I got a lot of unwanted attention as well. I had to get my passport renewed at the U.S. Embassy. I don't know if you guys know about this or not, but the U.S. Embassy was attacked by terrorists in 1998. And because of that, the security was crazy there. I mean, I felt like I was entering a supermax prison or something. But there was this pretty nice park nearby, and after I finished up at the U.S. Embassy, I walked through this park and I got to see some wild monkeys who came to the side of the road and begged for food. Yeah, even the monkeys were begging. But it was just amazing coming to Kenya for the first time. So many colors and things you just never see in your everyday life. I think this place is a photographer's paradise. And speaking of cameras, I busted out my camera on this one street scene that I found particularly interesting, and I almost got mobbed. This lady got pissed, and then she started inciting others to get angry at me, and I just don't get it. I mean, the people seem to get really offended if they think you're taking their picture. I wasn't taking video of anyone in particular, but if they thought I was taking their picture, they would just go crazy. Like they would lose their. Anyways, it reminded me of this one time I was in Ghana, and this dude literally chased my taxi on foot, sprinting through traffic like he was running the 100 meter in the Olympics or something, just because he saw me taking pictures from the window. This is insane. So, I mean, talking about filming in Africa, that's a whole nother topic that I can make another video about. But yeah, you gotta be really careful about filming there. So when I was driving around Nairobi, I was thinking, oh, the roads are just really nice here and nice and smooth. I mean, I guess this is like a more developed country than I thought. But as soon as I left Nairobi, I soon learned that most of the roads, if you can even call them that, are pretty bad. I mean, they're barely drivable. My bus to Kisumu, for example, was only able to manage a 20 mile per hour pace, and I had to suffer through that for 9 hours. So, if you like kids, goats, and grandpas on bicycles, knock yourself out. You'll love driving in Kenya. But for me, I'll be flying next time. As for Kisumu, I mean, you guys have already seen a few videos from there. Now, why I ended up coming to Kisumu in particular, and my experiences those first couple of weeks that's a really amazing story. But I'll save that for another video. So guys, that's where my mind was when I came to Kenya. I got to say that out of all the countries I've ever come to, I had the most apprehension about coming to Kenya. And ironically, it turned out to be one of the best places I've ever been to. In fact, if Japan was chapter 2 of my life, I have this feeling that East Africa will be chapter 3. And I never got that feeling in other countries like Thailand or other places I visited. But yeah, I just have this strong feeling that I'm going to be here for a long time. And this is the kind of place I want to stay in. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on this little journey. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, fucktards.